What is up, guys? This is Darkwolf428 showing off my Chill Out Smell the Roses monk. We're here using the Eventide Petals for the skill Midnight Zenith, which whenever we do a critical hit, we are creating ice crystals, and we're exploding those ice crystals with our Thunder Fists that are being changed by Fist of Stone from the Martial Artist Ascension. But let's just get into a map. Here's Great Beast with a T16. Increased effectiveness, increased effectiveness, increased effectiveness. Get into it. Right off the bat, we're able to just start generating power charges if you want. Basically just hold down our Shattering Balm. For bossing here, we're gonna use our Killing Palm, or if you use Devour, you can use Devour on our bells that are coming around us to generate power charges. While we're waiting for the boss to come out, we're gonna use Rend. We're gonna Pounce, use our Charge Staff, go to town clicking, pulling down. Once we get enough for our bell, we're just gonna place our bell. As you can see, I just kind of just stood there. So, how this build works is we're using the Eventide Petals for the skill Midnight Zenith. Midnight Zenith. Whenever we get a critical hit, we are creating ice crystals, and those ice crystals are automatically being blown up with the Thunder Fist gloves, which we get Gelid Palm from. Gelid Palm is adding flat cold damage, freeze buildup, and creating AoEs with our unarmed melee attacks, dealing damage to all surrounding enemies and destroying ice crystals. So those will be destroying ice crystals automatically and creating basically all of our clear. We have Hollow Focus, which are the bells that generate around us. We can use our Killing Palm on to generate power charges early on the map, and then as we're clearing, we're having Culmination 2 generate combo for the Hollow Focus, and then Aelith Charms is giving us power charges, so as we're clearing, we're constantly generating power charges so that we can continue to use Charge Staff or Rend for extra damage while we are mapping. I use Refutation for boss fights. It is a buff that allows you to parry any parryable attacks, and any parried, it'll apply a parry debuff for the target to take 50% more attack damage. So we use this on a boss, regardless if we get hit by the boss or not. It's just a extra 50% damage if we do get hit. We use Pounce to apply the Predator's Mark to increase our damage against the boss. With the quality, we'll get up to 60% damage bonus against the marked target from Pounce. We are creating extra minions for having Living Lightning on Hollowed Focus, so that we'll be able to get that max 60% extra damage. Shattering Palm is our main skill that we use to clear throughout the map. The Rakiata's Flow and Gurukhan's Resolve are not needed. I just got lucky to have them. But we're just increasing the AoE of it, and close combat just because we are just teleporting onto all the enemies attacking them. Tempest Spell, we have it Ancestral boosted, close combat, delayed gratification, so that we can essentially be able to have multiple bells out during a fight. Elemental Armament, since the bell is absorbing all of our elemental damage that we're dealing into it. And then Blindside for more crit damage bonus and crit hit chance against blinded enemies, which we are blinding them through Gelid Palm is applying blind, and I guess our Wind Dancer is also applying blind if we were to get hit. Our added clear is Herald of Ice, which is set up to also explode our ice crystals automatically with this Biting Frost, so that can consume freeze. However, it does not consume the freeze on bosses, so we'll be able to consume freeze on targets for more damage while we're mapping, but when we're in a boss fight, once the boss is frozen, we won't be consuming the freeze. I like to use Killing Palm, but you can use Devour instead. It would be set up the exact same, charge Perfusion to gain additional charges. I use Behead just in case there was a rare that could be pulled from Killing Blow. just to get their modifiers. Culling strikes, this is just to gain culling strike threshold so that we can pull with our other attacks. Thrill of the Kill, just another damage buff. And then skill effect duration, just to increase our duration of power charges. Gear wise, just want flat damage and to max out your resistances. As you can see here, all my resistances are capped. So now I can start focusing on getting rarity onto my gear. But most important thing is just to get your resistances, evasion, reshield up. Right now I went Chaos Knocked because I have 4800 energy shield and my evasion rating is sitting at 77% because of our Wind Dancer. Wind Dancer is not needed. I deactivate it. I still have 73% evasion rating, which is good enough. So you could replace Wind Dancer with Arch Fusion, I believe it's called, to gain increased crit hit chance when you generate power charges, and we are occasionally gaining other charges, so we can get Endurance and Frenzy charges, increasing our skill speed and our evasion energy shield. So this is replaceable. Even Herald of Ice, this is just added clear. I tried it without Herald of Ice, and because of our Gallet Palm, we are clearing well enough, so you could replace both of these if you wanted to, in order to pick up different spirit. If you, because we're just using our campaign 100 spirit, so don't need spirit on our chest piece, so we can get more evasion rating. Obviously we can't get spirit on our unique. There is the ability to apply spirit to our boots, but it's really unneeded unless you wanted the extra spirit to put on persistent support gems that cost spirit. Skill tree wise, we are taking the Hollow Focus and Hollow Resonance. Hollow Resonance is basically extra damage during the boss fights. Hollow Focus is extra clear during mapping and generates us power charges. We are taking Runic Meridians. This can help get your resistances to max sooner, so that you can look for other stats on your gear. And Way of the Stone Fist is needed in order to transform our Thunder Fists. As you can see here, our Thunder Fist normally has Crackling Palm and is adding flat lightning damage to our melee hits, but because of our Way of the Stone Fist, it is completely transforming it, giving us chance to gain onslaught on hit. So even while we're clearing the map, we're getting more movement speed and skill speed constantly. We are raising our maximum resistance and adding full damage to our unarmed melee attacks and gaining more melee attack critical hit chance. Pretty standard for mapping our points here. We're just going for crit damage, survivability, mana cost efficiency, which I was able to get Timeless Sapphire Jewel that was giving us recover maximum mana on kill. That's 1%, 2%, 3%. Once we get over here, we'll have another percent, so that'd be 5%. So you could easily take this off, get your points elsewhere. Want area attack, crit hit chance. I like to take the attack speed, but you could just take increased damage if you've critically hit. That's just 10% increased damage at all times. I come over here to get our crit hit chance up because it's really important that we get critical hits in order for our Midnight Zenith to create those ice crystals. That is why majority of our skills, like our Hollow, Resonance, Pinpoint, Critical, just to increase that crit hit chance. I'm sitting at 80% because of the Pinpoint, 50%. So we just want to make sure we're critting all the time. On weapon set 2, we're grabbing all of the skill effect duration that we can to increase how long our buff that we get from Rend is. I like to take more maximum energy shield for survivability. Over here, we grab on our second skill slot effect duration, skill effect duration. For my jewels, crit damage bonus, area effect, skill effect duration, maximum energy shield. Anything that increases our crit hit chance, crit damage bonus, area effect, you know, we are totally fine with any of those. One of our other nodes right here, we're just grabbing the disciplined training strictly for our skill effect duration. When complete getting first teachings of the Keeper, it unlocks a hidden passive, the Hollow Keeper. I highly recommend it. Gives us a reduced effect of curses on us, which, you know how mapping is, we're constantly being cursed, so this will reduce the effects of it. Even reduces the effect of non-damaging ailments on us. So if we were to be frozen for some reason, you know, killed, frozen, shocked, electrocuted, reduce those on us. Over here, this is basically where all of our high evasion rating is coming from, with the bestial skin. As you can see, 77% evasion rating, and our energy shield is 4,800. My 33 evasion rating, I take that off. I just lost 25%. I lost about 12 to 1500 ES. So having a high EV body armor, highly recommended. Secondary stats, I like stun threshold, because if you get stunned in the end game, it's pretty fatal. Gain deflection rating, where we can fit it, is helpful, but I only have it on my chest piece. Obviously, the way that I was mapping my points is probably not optimized and needs to be worked on. But weapon set 1, we're just grabbing anything that helps with our increasing our damage. We're grabbing all of our critical hit chance and crit hit damage on our weapon set 1, because that's the only place that it matters. with our extra weapon set points, I was just grabbing area effect, damage, or crit damage.